The show, the year Jordan Love was getting discussed, and here's what Greg Cosell, he loved a young quarterback out of Utah State. This is our Carson Wentz. Nobody hears about him, and you go out and go, there's this kid in North Dakota. So Jordan Love at Utah State.
Utah State. He has the overall skill set to be in the discussion for a top 5 pick in the 2020 draft. He's got arm strength. He's got pace and touch. He threw with precise ball placement.
A big kid.
He's got athleticism and movement. He's got second reaction ability. He's a natural thrower, Colin.
How about that? 2019, our show. I didn't have a full head of silver hair. Things have really changed. But obviously, you loved him then. You give me that notebook. You give it to me personally every year before the draft so I can cheat and get my notes. You loved him. Some of my GM buddies were a little gun shy. They weren't sure about him. So has he become what you saw?
Well, it's funny because then his last year in college with the change in coaching staff and a lot of lesser players, he did not have a good year, and therefore he dropped. But the traits remain. He has become what I thought he could become. Everything you heard me say there back in 2019, he's now showing in the NFL. And one thing I really like about him, and I've talked with coaches about this, is he may be the most aggressive thrower in the league.
Yes.
Now, at times, because of that, he can be a little reckless. But here's what most coaches will tell you. You can dial a guy down, and once he gains experience, sometimes he learns that himself, but you can't dial a guy up. So if a guy is a check down artist, it's very hard to get him to make those difficult throws that you have to make at the NFL level, at the intermediate levels, whereas he has no problem making those throws. And yes, every once in a while, he'll make one that's a head scratcher. Yeah. But he is such an aggressive thrower, and he's such an easy thrower. He threw a touchdown this week to Kraft. That was a big-time arm strength throw. He was probably a hair late throwing it, and I know Bullock, the former USC safety, probably thought he was going to make the play, but the ball had such velocity that he couldn't. And arm strength does matter. It's not the only thing, we know that, but arm strength does matter. But he is a very aggressive thrower.
So the play of the week is with Jordan Love. Take it away.
Yeah, let's look at this. This is a great example of what I'm talking about, too. This was the touchdown he threw last week, so let's take a look at it, to Dontavian Wicks. And this was against cover 2. This is a big-time throw. It might look easy because he's such an easy thrower of the football. But let's start with the fact that we're going to see him in the gun, and it's going to be a 2-by-2 set. So now what they're going to call here is they're going to call 4 verticals. That's what the route concept is. It's a very common route concept in the league, 4 verticals. Now, what you're going to get here initially, what he's looking at is a 2-high structure, 2 deep safeties. But what this is actually going to be, which is part of a 2-high structure, of course, is cover 2. So you're going to see cover 2 here, which is a good coverage for 4 verticals because the corners are not deep players. So now when Wicks, he's the #1 plus split outside the numbers to the wide side of the field. He is going to run the vertical route. The corner's not going to carry him because it's cover 2, because he's a flat defender. So right now, Jordan Love knows that, and he's getting ready to deliver the ball. Really, the only one who can play this is the safety to that side. But because it's 4 verticals and Tucker Kraft is running the vertical from inside, the safety can't fly over the top. I want you to understand, people understand how difficult a throw this is. That's from the far hash to the outside void to the other side of the field. Because Love is such an easy thrower of the football, as you can see here, he makes it look easy, like anybody could make this throw, Colin. Yep. This is a really difficult throw.
Greg Cosell.
That's how you know he's really great, when he makes the easy stuff, when he makes the hard stuff look so easy, right? When you're watching this on TV, if you're ever watching it with people who don't really know ball, they'll be like, how's that guy wide open? Or, oh, why didn't someone get that guy? And it always makes me laugh because it's like, okay, sure, that's the way it goes. But I was smiling this whole time because Greg Cosell literally said what I said a couple other days ago when people were kind of trying to call out Jordan Love and stuff about his turnovers and his interceptions, and I said, listen, he's very aggressive. He takes chances. It's because he's so good, because there's not a single throw that he can't make on the field. And I said, it's actually better that he's like that, because it's easier to pull someone back than push someone forward. And that's literally what Greg Cosell said just now. You can go watch what I said earlier. I think it was through the Herd First Things First and NFL Live. I've been talking a lot about the Packers and Jordan Love as per usual. And I said that, and now he literally said that. And then I said he could make a throw no matter where he's at. He can make any throw on the field. And Greg Cosell highlights this. So yeah, I love when things, line up perfectly like that. Because it only makes me look more like I actually know what I'm talking about, rather than, just playing pretend. But, yeah, I think I'm so happy that this is what Greg Cosell decided to highlight here with Jordan Love, because they easily could have set this up to be like, hey, Jordan Love is having a lot of turnovers or interceptions. What's the story here, right? Was this fool's gold? Did the Packers overpay, too soon or whatever? Which has been a lot of the conversation, not necessarily like paying too soon, but it's been a lot of the conversations, again, on NFL Live, on First Things First. Like, they've had these conversations where they're like, what's going on with Jordan Love? Is this a problem? Blah, 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 blah. Like, all the conversations have been more geared towards a negative light, and I have to come in hot with all the positives, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, yes, you always want your quarterback to throw less interceptions, to turn the ball over, right? To make, better reads and yada, yada, yada. So I get it, but it was like, trying to really find the positive, which is what I said. And then now to have Greg kind of highlight all of this right here, it's awesome to see. I mean, Greg knows way more than I'll ever know about football. So I'm just happy that Colin kind of had that platform for that. Unfortunately, it probably won't get the amount of attention as the other stuff, right? Is what's wrong with Jordan Love, and is Jordan Love being too aggressive, and this, that, and the third. And like I really say in virtually every single Packers video, is this season, this team as a whole will ultimately be reduced and looked at through the lens of Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. It's what is that relationship? That is the fundamental truth and source of the Green Bay Packers for the next 5, 10 plus years, right? It's their relationship. Matt LaFleur is an unbelievable coach, as you guys know, and Jordan Love is an unbelievable quarterback. So it's what is their relationship together. If Jordan Love does start to get a little bit too aggressive and it's starting to be a little bit more of an issue, can he pull him back? Is Jordan Love the type of quarterback who will be like, okay, got it, I need to pull back a little bit, I need to be a little bit smarter, I need to do whatever, right? Will Matt LaFleur give him, more defined read throws to set himself up in a way where he's not going to maybe make some of those decisions that could get himself into trouble, right? Have some of these more designs in that way. That's definitely a possibility. There's so many different things that a coach and coordinator can do to help facilitate that process. But again, it's also like not taking away what Jordan Love can do as well, right? Because he's obviously a really special player. So it's just going to be, I am more fascinated than anything else of watching Jordan Love's and Matt LaFleur's relationship unfold and how they develop. Because I've also emphasized a lot is that they're still learning each other, right? Like they just are. Yeah, they had last season together, and I know Jordan Love has been around in practices and all of that and sitting behind Aaron, but it's just different, right? Like really only last year did they really figure stuff out. And now, based on what they've learned from that whole season, they're now figuring it out this season, right? It's really not, you don't really know what's going on until, year 4, 5, 6, that you really are connected from your coach quarterback, right? And think about it like dating, right? Like how much do you know your girlfriend or boyfriend for that first year? That whole first year, you're literally just figuring it out, right? You're literally just figuring it out. And then that second year is like, okay, I'm now applying what I learned that first year, but it's still like an exploratory, right? It's not until year 3, 4, or 5 that you now know like everything about them. You're not going to learn anything new about them. You already know the things that annoys you, the things that you love, whether you think they're did I just waste my last 3 years, or like, am I happy that we found each other, right? Like that's really what it comes down to more than anything. And this is no different. So this is an exploring process. And quite frankly, I don't care about the years that he wasn't playing. right? Because that's like, it's good and it can help him mature and develop and grow. But like, obviously, this is what matters. And so this is the relationship that's, again, continuing to unfold. And I just think the Packers are in just such a great spot right now. And it is funny to hear so many people kind of continue to have concerns, because that's the thing, right? On First Things First, they had the "is it something or nothing" segment. Is it something or nothing? Jordan Love's turnovers or interceptions, however it was highlighted. And I think all of them said it was something. I'm not sure if Bruce said nothing because he thinks the Packers are going to go to the Super Bowl, but I know Greg said it was something. Nick Wright was already saying something. Like, Nick Wright right now is laying out the groundwork. You can see it. I see it as clear as day. He is laying out the groundwork to be like, I told you Jordan Love has problems. I told you to be concerned about him, because he called him a poor man's Josh Allen or something, right? He goes, is he a Brett Favre, which would be awesome, or is he more like a poor man's Josh Allen, without the legs? Ooh, that doesn't sound good. Like, that's essentially like word for word what he said, right? So he's laying the ground for that take, right? For a year from now, 6 months from now, whatever, to be like, I told you this is the problem with Jordan Love. The Packers made a mistake, because I don't think he wanted them to even pay him, if memory serves me correctly. So I'm excited to see what Jordan Love does and the Packers team as a whole. And obviously, as I keep emphasizing, Matt LaFleur and what they can do, because I think this is a great team. And I've talked repeatedly before the season even started that, like, what's at stake for them is dynasty, right? They figure out how to truly maximize Jordan Love and minimize any of his shortcomings or mistakes, or minimize his opportunities to be hyper aggressive in ways that hurts himself and the team. It's just NFC Championship game, NFC Championship game, NFC Championship game, Super Bowls. I mean, it's just the sky's the absolute limit. When you can see this guy make throws all over the field like it's nothing, right? It's just give the dude a team, give the dude a coach, and you're gonna win. Right? I mean, and the rest is up to the football gods, right? Health and weird bounces. Like, it just, that the rest is up to the universe at that point. And he's got the coach. He's got the young ascending team. He's young and ascending and getting better and better. And it's just going to be look out. And again, I don't know if it's going to be this year or next year or the year after, right? Again, these things take time, right? Obviously, if you're a Packers fan, you're thinking like, this year, let's go. Might not be this year. Like I said, I have no idea. It'll probably be more reliant on the football gods more than anything, because I don't think it's a lack of talent. I think Colin came out when he was saying that he doesn't trust his team. He loves the Packers and he loves Jordan Love. He's definitely turned the corner with them, and he loves Matt LaFleur. But I think he thinks that they're potentially too young still, right? That he doesn't fully trust them. But it's interesting because if we're just looking at the NFC right now, right, and we're not going to worry about the AFC because the Chiefs obviously are just flushed with experience. From Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Spags, Kelsey, right? Like, they're just deep with true high level experience, which goes an incredibly long way. But if we look at the NFC, right, the Lions kind of have it 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? They have some guys that are experienced, some guys that have a tad bit more experience than the Packers because they went to the NFC Championship game. The 49ers at this point, they're so injured and a mess. It all depends on who's coming back. Right? The Eagles have Super Bowl experience, but they haven't necessarily shown that has helped them, quite frankly. Especially with now you're getting like new coaching staff and a new other key pieces like a Saquon Barkley. And you have the Bears. They certainly don't have that rookie quarterback. Minnesota Vikings, they certainly don't have that experience. So it's just like, if we're going to say that we don't trust the Packers because of they're a little bit younger and they don't have that experience, well, then you kind of have to afford that to pretty much like every team out there right now. Or that the teams that do have some of this experience, it's like, I don't know if it's shown to actually help them. I don't know if the experience of Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devontae in the Super Bowl or Nick Sirianni has necessarily shown to show that they know what to do in an important high-level game. I don't think that's panned out just yet. Maybe it will. Maybe if it is in the NFC Championship game, they know exactly what to do, and the Packers don't, right? Like, maybe. It's definitely technically a possibility, but at this point of the season, like, I'm not betting on it. So what I'm ultimately trying to say is, like, I'm not concerned about that aspect of this Packers team. I'm not like, yeah, you know what? They're a really good team. They're still a little young. It's going to be a little tough to see what they'll be able to pull out. You know, at the end of the day, I can't really trust the Packers in a high pressure situation in the NFC Championship game fourth quarter. Like, I'm not going to say that. If they were going up against a fully full strength 49ers, right? Then I could say, okay, that'll be a tough matchup. You're talking about a team that has been there consistently, multiple Super Bowls, right? Like they know what to do, they know how to prepare, they know the game plan, right? Like then you could say, okay, that they will be technically at an experience disadvantage. Talent-wise, who knows? But experience disadvantage, you would have to give that to the 49ers. But again, they're so injured, the way they're playing, I don't know what that means right now. So, it's just ultimately, if the Packers prove to have the team, to have the health, well, then it should be for their taking, right? Like, I think that's where Brew kind of comes in, where he's like, they can absolutely go to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, interesting stuff. Definitely was happy to finally highlight a more start to finish positive clip of Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers and kind of how their season's unfolding and Jordan Love's talent overall? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.